A pleasant day. My name is Albert Baguio from MH32. Among the natures or characteristics of language cited in the discussion, the one that I chose is that language is a system of communication. This means that language is a strong, convenient, and the best form of communication for no doubt, and it is the best way to express everything. Language is a system of communication because it relies on verbal or non-verbal codes to transfer information. And lastly, language is the primary means of communication. Its relevance in society is that first, it allows us to communicate in a variety of ways. Second, by means of language, we human beings can express our thoughts, desires, emotions, and feelings. Third, we are also able to work together simply by way of the welfare of language. Fourth, with the help of language, effective communication is made possible. And lastly, in spite of everything, we could say that language is the perfect communication system around the globe. For me, among the communication models discussed, the one that best describes the process of communication is the Scrum model of communication. In this model, communication is circular, not linear. The listener can both receive and send messages in most instances, which means each person is both a sender and a receiver. They are therefore able to communicate with one another rather than only in one direction. Moreover, as two-way communication keeps on going in its circular pattern, the semantic noise is ideally reduced because the two communicators can come to shared meaning and give one another further clarification on what they actually mean. Additionally, in this model, communication involves interpretation, which means communication is not simply the passing of a packet of information from a sender to a receiver. Instead, the messages must be interpreted in order to be understood. Also, in this model, communication requires encoding, decoding, and interpretation, which means when someone has decoded and interpreted a message, they can then go about encoding their own message to send back to the original sender. They would in turn go about decoding and interpreting, which means the cycle continues. Lastly, in this model, communication is equal and reciprocal because both members of the communication have the capacity to encode, decode, and interpret. This model views the two members of the conversation as equal participants. That's all for my discussion. Thank you and God bless.